In this video, I want to look at reasoning through proportions with multiplication and division. And although students may initially use things like repeated addition to solve simple proportion problems, it's really important to progress into more powerful ways of reasoning with multiplication and division. So there are actually several problems that we actually can't solve with repeated addition, and we actually need multiplication and division. As an example, if I consider the problem, rose lily perfume is made by mixing rose oil and lily of the valley oil in the ratio of 4:3. How many liters of rose oil should be mixed with 20 liters of lily of the valley oil to make rose lily perfume? Well, since the lily oil is in the 3 part of the ratio, we would need to repeatedly add 3. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12, and we can keep going, but we won't actually hit 20 exactly. So here our repeated addition method doesn't work. So I want to look at some different ways we could actually think about solving this problem using multiplication and division. The first way I want to consider this problem, we're going to look at the variable parts perspective of ratios and use the method known as multiply one part. Here I have my strip diagram. I know I have 4 parts of rose oil and 3 parts of lily oil. And I know that total here should be 20 liters, which tells me that individually, each of these are 20/3. And the same thing up here. Each of these will be 20/3. So to get the 20/3, I had to actually divide 20 by 3. Since all the parts of lily and rose oil contain the same number of liters, I can express it as just 4 parts of rose oil that each have 20/3 liters. So 4 times 20/3. Next, let's look at the multiple batches perspective. And this time I'm going to use a double number line to represent. So here I have my number line. We start at 0. We know our ratio is 4:3. And then we're just going to continue on until we get to 20 on the denominator. If we spread our number line out evenly, we don't get exactly 20, so we can break it up down here. To get that 20 actually needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2/3. So we have 6 2/3 times the ratio at the top, which is 4. Since one batch of rose lily perfume contains 4 liters of oil, we can express it as 4 times the number of batches that we want to have. In the previous method, 4 was the number of groups, and 20/3 was the size of one group. In this method, our 20/3 here is the number of groups, and our 4 is the size of one group. Next, I'm going to consider the multiple batches perspective, and I'm going to think of the method known as multiply one unit rate batch. So the idea here is to start by finding how much rose oil we would need for 1 liter of lily oil. So here I have my double number line. We know that 3 liters of lily oil require 4 liters of rose oil, and if we break this up into 3 pieces evenly, this would be 2 liters and 1 liters. This would be 4/3 and 8/3. So then the idea is this right here is now 1 unit rate batch. I have 1 liter of lily oil. And eventually, we need to get to 20. So we need to know, what is this number? Well, if 1 is 4/3, then we need to know how many 20 of those are. So 20 times 4/3. The question might be, why did we find the amount of rose oil for 1 liter of lily oil? Why did I put the 1 on the bottom instead of splitting it up into 4 pieces and breaking down my rose oil into its unit and having a 1 on the top? And the answer is it's because we can easily relate 1 liter of lily oil to any other number of liters of lily oil, like the 20. Since we were given the amount of lily of the valley oil that we had, that's the one that we needed to put in its unit form. Finally, let's think about the variable parts in the multiply one total amount version. The idea of this is we can view the total amount of lily oil as one group of size 20 liters. The idea of this is we can view the total amount of lily oil as one group of size 20 liters. So this whole group is just 20 liters. Since one group of lily oil is 3 parts and we want 4 parts of rose oil, then we need to divide 4 by 3. So this is going to tell us how many groups of lily oil make the amount of rose oil we need. So the 4/3 is the number of groups of lily oil that make the rose oil that we need. And since we have a total of 20 liters of lily oil, we would then multiply by 20.